this fundamentals of leadership, fourth class. Yeah. So today we are studying the philosophy. And style of leadership. So this class will review the understanding the philosophy and the styles of leadership. So, what kind of the characteristic of the leadership philosophy? I want to explain theory X and theory Y. Also leadership style. Kind of leadership, there are authoritarian leadership, democratic leadership, righteous, fair leadership. I introduced three kinds of leadership. So, and also this is very short. And we continue the next chapter is tending to task and the relationship. This is for explain the task and the relationship styles of leadership. Also the task and leadership styles in practice. Just a little bit, just a example for you understanding there. Okay. First, what is your philosophy of leadership? Last time I talked to Western and Oriental is a little bit different approach for theory. Basically, this is my personal idea. Oriental theory as approach by philosophy based, but the Western style based on the psychological approach. A little bit different first approach. That's why there are lots of aspects of style or the characteristics is different. It means it's a rational attitude or some rational action or something like that is a little bit different. It's related at the ethic also. So that's why in the Western style is expressed, address the ethics. So every subject have ethics subject. For example, ethic of business ethic, something like that. Mission, also same. So every subject has ethics subject, ethic curriculum. So, but in the West Oriental style is philosophy. So, what is the style or approach between Oriental and the Western? There is philosophy and psychology. So, this leadership this concept is a little different in leadership, but what is your leadership? Philosophy of leadership. It means is what kind of philosophy, approach or idea about the leadership. So are you in a type of leader who closely monitors followers? If you monitors the followers, if you are manager, you need it. Or are you laid back type of leader who gives followers a lot of labels? It means it's after that you follow the type of the leadership style. Whether you are one or the other or somewhere in between, it is important to recognize your personal philosophy of leadership. So if you are very closely monitor or you're the laid-back type of leader, it doesn't matter. It is recognized your philosophy of leadership. What is your own leadership style? This philosophy affects how others respond to you. It is response or the aspects, the affecting others' response. If you are the monitoring style or laid-back style, it is different, recognized. This philosophy aspect how the others respond to you, or how they respond to their work, and in the end, how effective you are as a leader. So first, if you are leaders, you have some monitor style or the laid-back types leadership. It is very important to affect other response to you. Also respond to their works, the followers, how do they work? Because the leaders are kind of philosophy style type. Also, it is affects effective you are as a leader. It's very important things. So what is and next is what's the meaning of a philosophy of leadership? What does philosophy of leadership means? Today we will discuss how a person's view of people. What is your idea of a view of the followers or the people? Work and human nature. A personal philosophy of leadership means is you have something idea or the some approach or method, the view, a person's view of people, and work style, and the human nature forms. These things is related. In addition, we will examine how the philosophy is demonstrated in three of the most commonly observed style of personal leadership. Three kinds. So, authoritarian style, democratic style, and Rager's fair style. So we discussed the nature of the three styles and the implication each has an effective leadership performance. So let me introduce three kinds of the leadership style through the philosophy, and then which is the effective leadership of performance. So first, each of the approach leadership with a unique set of beliefs and attitudes about the nature of people and the nature of works. Belief and attitude. How do you have the beliefs, and attitude? So any kind of any leadership styles, they approach a very unique set of the brief and attitude. So brief and attitude is combined and set of style. It depends on the nature of people and nature of work. This is the base of our philosophy of leadership. For example, some people think people are basically good and will happily work if given the chance. So okay, if the employers give the chance to work to employees, and then the employees very happy and basically good attitude and happily work. But the other hand, people are prone to be a bit lazy and need to be nudged to complete their work. Complain and lazy and not like it, dislike and something like that. It's negative concept. So two things. So these beliefs about the people and work have a significant impact on the individual's leadership style and probably come into play in every aspect of a person's leadership. So there are two kinds. One thing is very good, positive attitude, and negative attitude. If you have some chance to work, that you have an eager mind to work and happily approach that, but the other hand is very complain and lazy, something. There's no thing. So there are many researches regarding this one. So especially the McGregor was interested how managers view their motivation of workers and their attitudes toward work. So McGregor very has interesting managers view the motivation of workers and their attitude toward the work. So he believed understanding this motivation was central to knowing how to become an effective manager. Motivation. So the peoples have attitude towards the work about the motivation. So McGregor proposed two general theories, theory X and theory Y. McGregor believed that by exploring the major assumption of each of these theories, people could develop a better understanding of their own viewpoints on human behavior and the relationship of these viewpoints to their leadership style. Theory X, he suggests theory X and theory Y. So, and this viewpoint is can develop the people better understanding their viewpoint of the leadership style. Also their human behavior and the relationship of the viewpoint of their leadership style. So the assumption of the theory are the consistence or in consonance with your own attitude and philosophy of leadership. This theory X and theory Y is basically starting to your viewpoint of philosophy of leadership. So first, the theory X is made up of the three assumptions about the human nature and the human behavior. Let me show you the three assumptions. I'll show you. Here you go. Okay, McGregor suggests three kinds of assumption of theory X. First, people dislike work. And second assumption is that people need to be directed and controlled. People want security, not responsibility. This is a basic idea and assumption of most people. Most people have three kinds of things, and then he developed the theory X. Think about it. What is your idea? people dislike work or not? Most people dislike work because we are not lazy. So in the Western style, also two kinds. Is if human is born and there are negative concept and positive concept. The people doesn't know everything, so need to be educated. This is negative style. So people absolutely doesn't know everything because just born, so he doesn't know it. But the instinctively work only hungry or feel good or something emotion only. But in related to work, the people likes it or dislike to work or to something action to be educated. But other theory is no need that. Something like animals type. You know, there's eagle or any kind of animals, no education, no need to educate, just to practice. And then they acknowledge, they knows it how to do that through the mother or some father's practicing. So there are two kinds of approach in the Eastern style also in China. But the MacGregors developed and viewpoints theory X. The basic assumption is people dislike to work. It's correct. And people need to be the direct and control. Because of why? I not work myself. I decide myself by control. Because very weak mind or some lazy or more, there are several kinds of reasoning there. So people need to be controlled, to be directed. Somebody teach, somebody give to chance to work and then have to do, must to do, and then the workers follow. And so the assumption is that people want security. It's Beijing mind. We want better safety. But not responsibility. I don't want to responsibility. Duty and responsibility is every time they go together. But even the people wants to security though, not wants to respond. This is theory X. So this assumption argues the people do not like to work. They view it as unpleasant, unsatisful, untasteful, or simply necessary evil. According to this assumption, if given the chance, people would choose not to work. If the people have some chance to work, but the people would choose not to work. An example of this assumption is workers who said, I only go to the work to be paid, only make money. If I didn't need to pay my bills, I would never work. If I don't want to pay, I don't want to work. People with this philosophy would avoid work if they could. Even if they could to avoid them to work, the people doing that. This is theory X assumption. Second assumption is people need to be the direct and control. This assumption is derived directly from the first assumption. It's related dislike working. Since people naturally do not like work, management needs to be set up a system of incentives and rewards regarding work that need to be accomplished because workers are often unwilling or unable to motivate themselves. So most people dislike to work. That's why the manager gives some incentive and some rewards system. And even if I don't want to work, but I want to pay money. So in this case, the manager or company gives the the carrot and the carrot. So there are something incentive and reward there. This assumption says that without an external direction and incentive, people would be unmotivated to work. An example of this is a high school teacher who persuades students to hand in homework assignment by threatening with bad grade. Okay. So if you do it the homework or assignment, I will give you the good grade. And if you don't need, if you did not do it or not submit the assignment or homework, you have bad grade. So the teacher forced the students to perform because the teachers think the students are unwilling to do or incapable of doing without that force being applied. From the perspective of the theory X, leaders play a significant role in encouraging others to accomplish their work. So the leaders knows it, the assumption, and then make some response. So reward or incentives, something, because the overcome the second assumption, people need to be directed or controlled. Assumptions are these: people want security, but not responsibility. This assumption pains is one of works who wants their leaders to take care of them, protect them, and make them feel safe. Everybody wants the basic ones to safe. Because it is too difficult to set their own goals. Workers want management to do it for them. This can only happen when managers establish the guidelines for workers. An example of this assumption can be observed at the fast food restaurant. So the employees only have to focus on completing the specific task set before them. For example, the cleaning the shake machine and making fries, something, and are not required to their initiative their own. In general, many fast food restaurant workers are not required to accept many challenges responsibilities. Instead, they are told to what to do and how and when to do it. Consistent with this assumption, this example highlights how some workers are not ambitious, but wants job security above everything else. It means is the fast food, the very quickly processing. But in the generally fast food restaurant workers is not required to accept many challenges as a responsibility. For example, is to move to next step, and then very quickly ready to food. But who has the responsibility? And then it's very difficult to control the food very fast. It is unsafe. That's why. But they don't want to be responsible. So what does it mean if a person's personal leadership style or philosophy is similar to theory X. It means these leaders have a tendency, view workers as lazy and uninterested in work because they do not value work. As a result, theory X leaders tend to be directive and contrary. It means most people need to directive and contrary because they have something, three kinds of assumption. So they supervise followers closely and are quick to both praise and criticize them as they see fit. These leaders remind workers of the goal, paid, and incentive, and commission or something like that. So the person in charge, theory X leaders, his or her leadership role is instrumental in getting the job done. Theory X leaders also believe it is their role to motivate followers because these workers have a little self-motivation. Because of this belief, these leaders take on the responsibility for their followers' actions. So, from the theory X perspective, it is clear that the followers has a need for leadership. So, theory X style leaders must be need. At the other hand, leadership Y. Theory Y. Right? Theory X. Theory X is based on the several specific assumptions about human nature and behavior. I will show you the table. People like, this is for assumption of materials theory Y. First, people like what? People are self-motivated. People accept and seek responsibility. Theory Y is very different. Theory X. So, taken together, the assumption of theory Y present a distinctly different perspective from the ideas set forth in theory X. It is perspective that can be observed a degree in many leaders today. So first assumption is people like work. The average person does not inherently dislike work, but doing work is as natural as play. Rather than viewing works as a burden or bad, this assumption suggests people see work as satisfying and not as a punishment. It is a natural activity for them. In fact, give a chance, people are happy to work. An example of this can be seen in what former President Jimmy Carter. You know that Jimmy Carter, when he was president, is not famous people and not good responsible reputation. But he has done his retirement, and then he is very highly devoted in the social in the United States, and he has some organization of big house thing. So he has devoted much of his time. Now he is around almost 90, late 90, and the energy to construction homes throughout the United States and around the world of habitat. You got that habitat for humanity. suddenly the former president does not need to work. Former president no need to the work, but after president he works very hard. But he does so because work is natural for him. It means he has lots of work. All his life, Jimmy Carter has been used to make a contribution to the well-being of others. Working with Habitat for Humanity is another opportunity for him to contribute to the society and the nation. Some people view work as a natural part of their lives. Also, the second assumption of theory-wise, people are self-motivated. People will show responsibility and self-control toward goals to which they are committed. So people will show responsibility and self-control towards goals to which they are committed. As opposed to theory X, which suggests people need to be supervised and controlled. Theory Y suggests people can and will make conscious choice to work their own. It means theory X is people dislike. Theory X, in theory X, the assumption is people need to be the director or be controlled. But theory Y is people are self-motivated. So people can be committed to their to the objectives of their work. Consider some example from the sports world. So I give some example of sports world. Successful athletics are often highly committed to their goals and usually do not need to be controlled or supervised closely. So coach design training plans for these athletes. But the athletes do the work themselves because the coach gives us a plan every week or every day plan, and the athletes follow it. This is called self-motivated. Because why? The reason is they have some goals, ultimate searching goals in sports. So a successful long-distance runner does not need to be the push to learn 60 training miles a week in the preparation for the marathon. Did you know that the world record 26 miles? So now I heard 2 to 3 weeks ago in Africa, guys, 2 hours 06 seconds. Very quick. This world record. So it is very hard things. So he training plans for every day 60 miles. Almost 60 miles every day. So the coach says it. You don't need to exercise anymore. Please keep your body and physical status. But he did it every day, 60 miles. And then finally he got a world record 3 weeks ago. Anyway, also many Olympic players need to be trained, plan or attitude for their goals. So the coaches give some idea and also plan, and then the athletes follow them. This is called self-motivated. But it's very difficult in the study, education. If you success your high school or college levels, highly grade report, and then you got a good jobs. But most people, most students knows it, but it's very difficult to follow that because sometimes you follow the theory X. People dislike to study and very lazy. That's why. But the athletic is a little bit very specified example of theory Y. So when people can find the commitment for their works, they will work without needing leaders to motivate or control them. Put another way, when people have a passion for their work, they will do it even without outside direction. It means you don't need outside direction because you are full of the motivation. So this is for theory Y. And assumption 3 of the theory Y is in the proper environment, the average person learns to accept and seek responsibility. It means people accept and seek responsibility. While theory X argues that people lacks ambition, proper to direct and wants security. The theory Y assume that the average person is inherently resourceful and if given a chance, will seek to take a responsibility. If given a chance, people have the capacity to engage in the wide range of goal setting and creative problem solving activities. It means if you have some chance to work and give a chance to some project, you have creative problem solving activities. 이것만. Also engage the wide range of goal setting. This is for theory Y style. Theory Y argues that given the opportunity, people will act independently and be productive. So, theory Y style managers very independently work and very productive actions for their goals. This is theory Y style. So in this textbook have some example. That's why this example there. That's me. So if the leader's philosophy of leadership is similar to theory Y, what does it mean? So it means that the leader viewpoint views people as capable and interested in work. Even though theory Y leaders may define work requirements, they do not try to control workers. So these leaders, followers, are not lazy. On the contrary, they naturally want to work. And these leaders do not think they need to try to motivate followers or make them work, since workers are capable of motivating themselves. It needs is Y-style leaders give a chance to the workers self-motivated to work style. Theory Y leaders are also very tuned to helping followers find their passion for what they want to do. It means model Y style leaders give attitude or clues to the workers what they want to do and what they are to do. So they are very motivated to follow the workers. This style is theory Y style leaders. So also these style leaders knows the followers are committed to their work and and they are more motivated to do the job. So that's why their followers to seek and accept the responsibility on their own. That comes easily for theory Y leaders. In short, the theory Y leadership means supporting followers without the need to direct or control them. On the other hand, theory X is absolutely different. No need to the direct or control. It's model Y style leaders. In summary, all of us maintain certain basic beliefs and assumptions about the human nature and work that form our leadership philosophy. So that's some leadership style, three kinds of leadership I will explain there. First, so what kind of leadership style through the model X and theory X and theory Y. I introduce three kinds of leadership style. So what behaviors do not exhibit as a leaders? You like to be a controller and keep up on the activity of your followers, or do you believe they are more hands-off approach in reading others, letting them make a decision on their own? It means your style is let them know, let it go over something, let it free to work, or you have controlled the whole worker style and attitude. This is exactly different style with the theory X and theory Y. So at this viewpoint, there are three kinds of leadership style. Whatever your behavior are the leaders, they are indicative of your leadership style. Leadership style is defined as a behavior of leaders, focusing on what leaders do and how they act. So the leaders doing or how they do. And then we discuss that. So this means is a leadership actions toward the followers in variety of contexts. So your leadership style is driven by your personal leadership philosophy. So the following I will introduce the three kinds of leadership style. So first is authoritarian leadership. In many ways, the authoritarian leadership style is very similar to theory X. Theory X is very similar to theory X style. When people like work, but people dislike to work, and people dislike work, and people need to be directed and controlled. Also, people want security, not responsibility. This X style. So the authoritarian leadership style is very similar to theory X. For example, authoritarian leaders perceives followers as needing direction. It means is the workers need to be controlled by leaders. This is authentic authoritarian leadership. Authority. authority means is something power to control the job. So if manager have authority and then gives the guideline how to do that, what to do, something like that. This is authority from the CEO. The manager gives some direction to the followers by authority. So this style is authoritarian leadership style. Is managers or leaders give to the every direction. So authoritarian leaders emphasize they are in the charge, exerting influence and control over group members. They determine tasks and procedures for group members, but may remain aloof from participating in group discussions. Authoritarian leaders do not encourage communicating among group members. Instead, they prefer their communication to be directed to them. In evaluating others, authoritarian leaders give praise and criticism freely, but it is given based on their own personal standard rather than based on objective criticism. So the leaders give suggestion and just follow it, and that's it. No need to responsibility or responsibility. But this style is also authoritarian style leadership. And briefly I explained that. Democratic leadership style. Democratic leadership style. The democratic leadership style, as you know, is the style democratic. So the democratic leadership style strongly resembles the assumption or theory Y. Authoritarian leadership is theory X style, very similar. But the democratic leadership is similar to theory Y. So democratic leadership treats followers as fully capable of doing work on their own. They do it themselves rather than controlling followers. Democratic leaders work with followers, trying how to treat everyone fairly without fooling themselves above followers. No putting, without fooling. In essence, they see themselves as a guide rather than a director. No direction, just guide. So they give suggestions to the others, but never without intention of changing that. Helping each follower reach a personal goal is important to democratic leaders. So helping each follower reach personal goal is important to democratic leaders. So it means democratic leaders do not use top-down communication. They speak on the same level as their followers. So leaders and followers, it's the same levels and communicated with their personal goals and company goals. So making sure everyone is a hurdle priority. They listen to the followers, supportive ways, and assist them in becoming self-directed, because it's the followers and the leaders have a wide and open communicated for their goals. So it's not top-down communication. They listen to the followers, how to support them, how to support ways, and how to assist them it is in becoming the self-directed. Also, they promoted communication between group members, and in certain situations are careful to draw out the less articulated members of groups. It means that they are widely open to communicate with each groups. The managers or leaders have a good relationship with followers, workers. It is for democratic leadership style, very similar assumption of theory one. There are also democratic leaders provide information, guidelines, or suggestions to workers, but do so without giving orders, without applying pressure. So, and finally, the evaluation of followers, the democratic leaders give objective praise and criticism. It means very democratic style. It's democratic leadership style. Also, the difficult word is fair leadership style. This is for research name. Lazy is a fair style, leadership style. Lazy's fair leadership style is dissimilar of both X and model theory Y. This is for theory X, very similar. People dislike work. People like work. Self-motivated, not motivated. This guide give to the guideline need to be directed, need to be controlled. This is X and Y combined style. Lazy fair leaders do not try to control followers as theory X leaders. They do not try to nurture and guide followers as theory Y leaders. Lazy fair stands alone as a style of leadership. Some has labored in non-leadership. So this is combined that's why the lazy fair leadership style is non-leadership. This is the nominal leader who engage in the minimal influence. It means is they approach to the workers minimized. So the French word is lazy fair leadership means the leader takes a hands off, let it ride. Hands off and let it ride. Also attitude towards the follower. These leaders recognize followers, but are they very laid back and make no attempt to influence their activities. Under lazy fair leadership, followers has freedom to do pretty much what they want to do whenever they want to do it. It means it's followers follow the theory, but the leaders follow the theory action. This is combined. So lazy fair leaders make no attempts to appraise or regulate the progress of followers. It means is managers give no appraise, give no regular progress to the followers. Just give to the duty and responsibility sake. This is three kinds of leadership. But in the leadership chapter, in the business part, it's very deeply studied the leadership style. But this class is only fundamentals of leadership, so let me introduce this type. authoritarian style is theory X style. People dislike it. Democratic leadership style is far very similar to theory Y. People like work. And the laissez-faire leadership style is combined theory X and theory Y style. So sometimes we say that this is non-leadership style. This is needed. Most of them is followed this way, actually. Okay. Okay, let's move to next. I'll give you some leadership style in practice. Actually, what kind of leadership style in the practice? So I'll show you the pictures and explain through the pictures. Okay, here you go. The style of leadership. Style of leadership and influence. What kind of influence by leadership style? Authoritarian leadership is left side, and in the middle of the position is democratic leadership, and laissez-faire leadership is right side. So it means that leadership influence is very high, is authoritarian leadership style, because the leaders give the direction and the guideline and the responsibility to the followers. But the moderate style leadership influence is mixed at the democratic leadership style. But the laissez-faire leadership style is influence is very low, because it's they are mixed theory X and theory Y. It means people dislike work, or people like works, or self controlled, or need to be controlled, or self guidelines, or no need to guidelines, something like that. This is style. So leaders influence. If the leader influence is high, it means authoritarian leadership style. Also, leadership influence is leader low. This is a laissez-faire leadership style. In the middle position is democratic leadership style. Okay. So you think about only three things. Okay, theory X, people very dislike that and lazy. And theory Y, all people like to work and self-controlled and self-guidelines, very eager-minded something to do. And now some workers is developed theory G, but this textbook will mention the theory G. So only the laissez-faire leadership style. So anyway, all of the philosophy of leadership is based on our beliefs about the human nature and work. So human nature, what kind of human nature and what kind of attitude to work? This is for philosophy of leadership. So some leaders have a philosophy that resembles theory X. They view workers as unmotivated and needing direction to control. I need to direction and I need to control is model D, exercise. Others have a philosophy similar to theory Y. They approach to workers as self-motivated and capable of working independently without a strong direction, influence from the leader. I don't need that. I don't know. I don't need to the direction from the leaders. I can do that my own responsibility. So our philosophy of leadership is played out in our style of leadership. There are three commonly observed styles of leadership: authoritarian leadership, democratic, and laissez-faire style. similar to theory X, so authoritarian leadership, perceived follows as lead direction. So the expert exerts strong influence and control, resembling theory Y. Democratic leaders view followers as capable of self-direction, so they provide counsel and support. Laissez-faire leaders leaves followers to function on their own, providing nominal influence and direction. So finally, what is the effective leadership demands? We understand our philosophy of leadership and how it forms the foundation of a style of leadership. This understanding is the first step to become a more informed and competent leaders. Okay, so definitely, this is theory. This is theory Y. Not mentioned that. So case by case and situation by situation and circumstance by circumstance is different. Okay. Okay, let's move. Introduced leadership. Just introduce how can we identify the style of leadership. Questionnaires, 18 questionnaires, and then evaluate what kind of leadership style. Just some question I do that. First statement is employees need to be supervised closely, or they are not likely to do their work. Strongly disagree and strongly agree. There are 5-point scales, and it depends on the leadership style. Also, second question is employees wants to be a part of the decision-making process. This is exactly. So I participated for the decision-making process or not. How many percent? Something. In complex situation, leaders should let followers work problem out on their own. So it means is if you have something problem to the process to work, and then followers let them know what the leaders concern that. It is fair to say that most employees in the general population are lazy. Is strong agree or not? And then decide your style. Providing guidance without pressure is the key to being good leaders. So, okay, if you give you the pressure to the followers, and then it's followed to the theory X. Leadership requires staying out of the way of followers as they do their work. It means is you give to the guidelines for the followers, and then you decide the future. As a rule, employees must be given reward or punishments in order to motivate them to achieve organizational objectives. So there are many kinds of objectives, and also there are incentive and rewards in there. So follow the rules. The employees have some give reward, or if they don't accomplish that, they got a punishment. Is it strongly or not? It's your style. And the most workers prefer supportive communication from their leaders. So some followers doesn't like the communication with the leaders, but leaders also doesn't like the communication with their followers. So communication with their leader with their followers, it depends on the leadership style. Also, as a rule, leaders should allow followers to appraise their own work. So it means that leaders give some mojo, and give the praise. Okay, good job, you did a good job, you did a good job, something like that. So these things is a questionnaire for what kind of your leadership style. Final question is almost. In general, it is best to leave followers alone. These things is so the followers has a responsibility or not. This belongs to the decision of leadership style. Okay, so today class we review the leadership style, model X, model Y, and follow the human nature and work style, and then we distinguish three kinds of leadership style. Also, authoritarian leadership style, and democratic leadership style, and the laissez-faire leadership style. So mostly nowadays the new trend is mix them, and they follow each situations. Sometimes they using the democratic style, sometimes authoritarian style, also very educated reward style, or the commission style, compensation style, or sometimes it's a policy style. This is a leadership style. Okay, that's all today class. And any question? If you have any questions, let me know that. And next week, we how kind of attending to task and the relationship. The leaders give some task to the authorities, and then how to they task and how to make the relationship with between the leaders and followers. Okay. Okay. Thanks for coming, and see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.